The Santa Vall is a 105-kilometre competitive gravel ride. It has 2 time sections which make up about half of the route distance. And for me, the Santa Vall was the first gravel race of 2022. So it really sets my benchmark for my gravel plans this year. So let's get into the video. On the race day, I was so stressed. I was freaking out. We arrived at the start like a bit late, and then there was a bit of confusion with getting my number. So basically what had happened is, for some reason, I'd been put into like the 50-kilometre race, but I was in the 100-kilometre race, so it was like a bit of a faff to sort it. But thankfully, Klassmark arranged everything, and I was in the right race, and it was all good. But at this point, I was not in any kit. I was not ready to go. My bike wasn't ready. So I'd basically just not left enough time. After I got my number, I rushed to the car. I like chucked on all my kit. But in this kind of like flurry, I forgot to put my GoPro mount onto my bike. And also I didn't bring all my race foods. Luckily, I had some food in like a bar bag, but I brought like gels and extra bits. I just left them in the car. How it worked with the Santa Vall is that it was a 30-minute window and you could start any time within that. That being said, a lot of people did roll out at the start. So in a way, it was frustrating for me because I didn't have a group to roll out with, which potentially maybe slowed me down in the first section. But I think that honestly, I was just happy I made it to the start. So initially, the first, I think 14 kilometres of the race was kind of a free zone before the first time section. Just about to start the time section. I am on my own at this point, so we'll see if I can catch some people. Once I started to tackle section 1, I just had so much frustration at this point to take out. And it was quite motivating as well to like be picking off people who were maybe not racing or were kind of taking it more chill. You can also tell through the vlog stuff that I shot, like I'm just not really in the mood. I kind of like wound myself up by that point. So yeah, it was good. It was actually, it gave me a lot of like fire to kind of crush the first race section. After the first section, I was pretty worn out. I was quite glad to see the end of the first section. And then there was quite a long bit in between race section 1 and 2, and there was a feed stop. Like, thank God there was a food stop. Like, I was kind of dying at this point. I definitely not brought quite enough food, but basically kind of brought me round once I had the feed stop. And it was like a really nice vibe. Like, there was a guy there playing guitar. Like, people were really taking their time. And I think that's what I really enjoyed about the Santa Vall, was this mix between this kind of like racer fury, like going full gas, and then actually just enjoying the route, enjoying the day out. So it was like a real nice moment of just like, like this is a really cool vibe. This is a nice event to do. So it kind of brought me out of my like grumpy Kira, like race brain, you know, and it was like just a moment to really appreciate it before race section number 2. Just over halfway now. I've done the first race section, so now it's kind of a free ride between 55k and 80k, and then we race the last 25k. Oof. During the first race section, pretty much been on my own. Took quite a few wrong turns, but yeah, not too shabby. Let's see how I go in the second one. So something quite amusing is that I've got my Wahoo in miles and all the course markers and everything is in kilometres. So the whole time I'm like converting in my head between the two. But to be honest, once I'm actually in the race sections, it doesn't really matter because I'm just looking at the route, because one of the most important things is going the right way. So race section number 2 is where things got really interesting, because the race section 2 was into the finish line. So it was like maybe 20-30 kilometers, and then at the end you finish. So I was all guns blazing at this point, and straight after the feed zone I actually managed to find like a group of people to ride with, and they were kind of like, you know, fit guys. Like I felt like, yeah, these guys are going to be racing to the finish. So anyway, I latch on the back of this group, and I'm like in like race mode, like head down, and basically I wasn't fully looking at like the trail where we were going. I was just like concentrating on following the wheel because they were going pretty hard. And I literally like hit this rut super hard because I couldn't quite see the trail. And anyway, I like bashed my back wheel super hard into this rut, and my rear derailleur disconnected. What do I mean by that? So on my gravel bike, I have Shimano Di2, GRX Di2. And basically it's got loads of like connections across the bike where it like electronically joins up. And what had happened is one of the cables had come out. So basically it's like if you unplug something, you know, and then suddenly I was just stuck in my top gear. So I was just there like, I'm in a group, like I feel like it's a good group, and I had to stop, and I was just like going through where the connections are. So there's a junction box, there's like a connection into like the rear derailleur itself, like the thing on the back that changes the gears. And basically I worked out that the connection that had come loose was inside the frame. So at this point I'm like, I can't even fix this. What am I going to do? And at that point I'm like, right, I have two options. First option, give up. Second option, keep going with 2 gears. Obviously I kept going because at that point I was like, I've made it this far. I might as well keep going. But in the last section, the last time zone, it basically climbed up, not like quite a mountain, but like quite a long hill before it then descended down to the finish. So I had to like channel my inner like fixed gear racer with just like ridiculously low cadence and just try and survive. Honestly, it's a miracle I didn't like blow out both my knees or something crazy. But I managed to survive the climb. The only one I didn't survive is there was a few like real short, steep kickers of climbs where I had to kind of just run up and like try and hold on to whoever I was with. After breaking my gears, I was like, right, now I'm pissed off. I thought I was pissed off in race section 1, but now I was really fuming. I was like, right, this race, I am going full gas. I had so much like rage, but not like rage at other people, you know, like the internal, like, I'm gonna, you know. So this really helped me get through race section 2. I just absolutely gave everything, and I ended up like catching a few people, and at one point I like flicked my elbow to try and get someone to roll through, and they were all just like, no, we're not going through. And I was like, well, okay, I'm just committing to the finish now, so full gas. And yeah, it felt really good actually. I've honestly, that feeling of just like being so focused on just emptying yourself and like you're not thinking about anything else, you know? So that was really satisfying. The old racer within me kind of woke up and was like, okay, now time to race. And then once I crossed the finish line, I was a bit gutted, to be honest. I was a bit like, you know, it was good, you enjoyed it, whatever, but you kind of like didn't give yourself the best chance. Like the mechanical was frustrating. So I wasn't unhappy, but I was a bit like, could have been better. But then I crossed the finish line and I saw all my friends waiting for me, and they were like, woo, go Kira. And it was, honestly, I was just like, I started smiling and I was like, it's epic that I survived. It's epic that like all my friends here supporting me and just giving me those good vibes. So it was so nice. Gave everyone a hug. Like I was just like, I need food, I need sugar, I need to sleep. Just so many emotions. And I'd kind of forgotten how it felt to like really go all in and race and go deep. And don't get me wrong, like I did a Klassmark gravel team event in December, but that was so different. You know, it wasn't just me, which definitely changed like how I felt about it. But yeah, all in all, a really, really good day. I did it, I survived. gravel race number 1. And going into like the rest of the year, I'm feeling a little bit more like sure of myself and that, okay, I can actually do it. Obviously from here on out, the gravel race distances get longer and they're not time sections, you know, they're just full out the whole time races. So it was a good one to get my foot in the door, get started with this gravel campaign of 2022. I mean, oof, it's going to be a year. It's going to be a year. So I want to say a big thank you to Klassmark, everyone who came to support me, everyone who did the race, and all of you watching at home, watching this little video. Thank you so much. If you want to support this channel and my gravel adventures this year, you can help me out on Patreon. I'll leave a link down in the description. Love you guys so much. Keep risking it for a biscuit. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.